Hello, everyone. Welcome to another AMA here at the Scandinavian Crypto Pub Talk. Today, I have the project BFK as a visitors, and they are a quite astonishing project. They have a game that was designed to push the boundaries on how scalable and sustainable gameplay systems execute in DeFi. So, welcome to the pub, guys. Please introduce yourself to us and also tell us, how did you guys get involved in crypto and what's your roles in the project?
Thank you for having us here. First of all, it's a pleasure to be surrounded by professionals and also people that have been in the space and understand quite well what we're trying to do. My name is V. My nickname is V. My real name is Eli. I'm the founder and CEO of BFK Warzone. I've been in the space for over 2 years so far. I have around 12 years of experience in gaming specifically. I've done 3 degrees in gaming and created my first game in 2009. While I live and breathe gaming, this is the fact that it's just not a career for me. It wasn't just a passion. It's just almost everything. So I spend my life now almost 22 hours per day, crazy enough, you know. I barely sleep just to work on everything that's related to gaming. I'm going to let now Matt and Jaden introduce themselves. Jaden?
Yes, g'day everybody. Just great to be here. Thank you so much for the invite. You're probably sick of BFK already because you've probably heard non-stop from Han. So if that's the case, I do apologise. We'll try and talk on a few things that he hasn't talked about. Matt and I are both in Sydney. We've known each other for about 35 years, and V, obviously we met when we first came into this project 18 months ago, 17 months ago, something like that, when he first started. And we came in as very original investors. I think we both joined the TG chat when there were less than 20 people in it. My experience is in film and television and advertising. I've done film and TV for 30 plus years, a lot of it around corporate and advertising. And always in a creative perspective. That's what I studied back in the late 90s, late 80s, I should say. I'm showing my age here, but yeah, we're old bastards. And between the three of us, we've got about 80 plus years of collective experience. So I'm creative director of BFK. All the pretty stuff. I love my job. I think I've got the best job because I get to create all the pretty visuals and things like that. And I'll pass over to Matt now, who is sitting in an airport lounge as we speak on his way to Melbourne. So we have him for limited time, but he wanted to jump in this morning so he could be here and meet everybody. Matt.
Yeah, good guys. Thanks for having us. I'm really excited to be here. So just excuse me for being a little bit muted. I'm trying to be quiet and sort of considerate of the people sitting around me waiting to get on the plane. As Jaden said, we've known each other for about 35 years, and and both joined BFK originally as investors, and just absolutely loved the project and saw the potential that it had and the way that it's really trying to do something different in the space, and more than that, really trying to change the space. And that was the thing that kind of drew us from being investors to wanting to be part of the core team and wanting to actually be a part of this business that's going to put a genuine stamp on the crypto space and be remembered, we hope, for the things that we're doing. I'm the chief marketing officer, so I love my job as well. I've been working in advertising for 25, 30 years. I've worked for a couple of international agencies and Australian agencies, publishers, always in digital, but have got a fair bit of experience in how to take a business to market that is not the sort of thing that we normally see in crypto. And so, while at the moment we're doing the rounds of the AMAs because that's the sensible thing for us to do, and getting in front of as many potential investors as we possibly can when things are a little bit quiet while we wait for the market to turn around. We certainly will be embarking on a marketing campaign that involves less of the kind of call channels and PooCoin ads and a lot more of the stuff that you would expect to see from a genuine game. So yeah,
All right.
I'll pass back to the guys to let them kick through the presentation. Thanks.
Yeah, before we do that, I see that you have a brand philosophy. You're focusing on the overlap between gaming communities and cryptocurrency investors. But guys, how and when did this project actually start?
Well, we started building about July, August last year. So we've been going on a project development scale for some time. We launched initially to raise some initial funds just to get that development started, but we decided fairly early in the piece, towards the beginning of this year, that we didn't want to be just another project that was building, and we were talking about what is coming. We wanted to actually be a project that had our product already on the shelf and fully developed. We also could see signs of a pretty substantial bear market in play, and whilst we've never professed to have a crystal ball, we did take the decision. We talked to the community at the very beginning of the year and said and posed the proposition of pausing trading, taking what we had, stabling it immediately, and finish development whilst the market played out the way that it did. Now, obviously, that worked out very, very well for us because we were able to do that. Anyone that wanted to get out of the project at that time had the chance to do so. Anyone that wanted to stay in and support the project and saw it as a long-term investment were given that opportunity as well. And that's why we've been so confident when we did relaunch just 4 weeks ago that everyone that stayed in is really, really, really supportive of the project because they've been in for a long time and they see it as a long term. So I'll tell you a little bit about the project itself now. Before we go too far, BFK Battle Fort Knox. It's an NFT 2D shooter game. Very simple game in terms of look and feel and so forth. Built on the blockchain, playable on mobile and PC. But I guess the thing that makes us different is that it's a game built by gamers and for gamers. It's an awesome game. I know Han's been talking about it, but it's such great fun. You can play it 1v1. You can play it in group battles. You can team up against the ETH alien. And it's a lot of fun. It's very simple to navigate, but it's complex enough that we can hook gamers into learning it and spending time in it because, we know that is important for the gaming community, and I'll touch on that in a minute, why that's so important. We wanted to build a game that was attractive to gamers, not to crypto people. It's very, very important, and you'll see why as we go through. So for that reason, it's very important that we made it challenging enough for real gamers to want to get in and spend time in it. But and ultimately, the better you get at it, the more you earn from it. So with any successful game, it's skill based. So you rank up within the game by spending time in it rather than just the amount of kills. As we said, it's built on the blockchain. But the most important thing is that it's not under development. It's not coming. It's not on its way. It's here. So as I said, we launched 4 to 5 weeks ago at the very end of October. We launched the token and the game concurrently. And so we've been trading now for 5 weeks, just kind of trying to maintain a steady chart without dumping so much to give us time to really polish the game in a live environment. We've now just a few days into almost a week, I guess, been live on App Store on iOS, which is just a massive achievement. We had to do a bit of work with collaborative work with Apple to make that happen, but Apple were really invested in us and really interested in what we were doing. So huge achievement. We're live. We've been bug testing and live testing for this last few weeks. We've got a good core of people playing the game now and giving us just amazing feedback. And that's where we are up to right now. It's obviously very easy to summarize the last 18 months of hard work, but we are live, and I'll hand over to V to talk about that's the top end of things, but it's really what sits underneath the game, the ecosystem and all the structure behind it that V has built that make this game stand head and shoulders above any other project. So I'll let V kind of talk through some of the intricacies behind our ecosystem.
Yeah, thanks, Jaden. So in terms of how the game should be structured, there was like a long process to look back, at the project that were behind and the project that have succeeded and failed at the same time, looking at Axie Infinity, for example, and the other projects that have been through the stage of the bull market in 2021. And the main cause of the death point of any play to earn project was the factor that they couldn't treat the inflation. And at this point, usually that the security wasn't the main feature related at this point in the bull market that we were at now, when everyone was concentrating on the next hype, next trend to happen. So this is where BFK looked at the small points and the big points, the fact that destroyed most of these projects, and we took it really by hand, and we wanted to make a change in the space by treating the inflation. So that's why our complex ecosystem lies off on the different factors, starting with how we are indulging players inside of our ecosystem, providing them a marketplace that is really providing multiple venues of an income stream, also as an engagement stream, and the same way put them in facts that they can use it for multiple purpose, not just for having a systematic trade. So the inflation factors relies on the earnings that are just sent unconditionally, usually in projects that they just have the technical part of it. But BFK is a story. It's a game. It has characters. It has love behind it. It has campaigns. It has a future mission. It has a story based on the blockchain itself, fighting the BSC and the ETH. So this is where we relied on giving the players a high quality platform where earnings are provided, like Jaden said, by a skill-based system. So your profile, your soldiers, your NFTs, all of them are incorporated in a very smart NFT kind of scaling and a ranking system that affects everything you do in the game. In terms of security, we've been taking the first step at the regulation factor. We knew it, that the future at this side to scale and to be proven in the market and to be acquired internationally is to have some sort of security, which means a little bit of we are going to be open to regulations somehow at one time. So we took the first step at providing the latest in AML technologies with very good and renowned third-party companies and firms that I'm going to discuss about them later, that took us to the next step on how we observe the blockchain side and how we protect the ledgers and the wallets, and also provide play and earn end-to-end peer-to-peer that is basically known in the real life. I mean, I've never seen, as long as we lived in real life, that whenever you want to deal with somebody, you want to trade with somebody, you want to share, you want to pay, any type of transaction you put, you always know who is on the other hand. This is how we used to be. So this is why the facts, we're going to provide quality over quantity. We want to provide security over complete decentralization by just getting the use and putting the circle, like a community circle, securing everyone who's dealing in BFK, providing a KYC system, AML-based system, and the cloud gaming security system we have implemented. In terms of stability, scalability, and sustainability, these are the three factors that I call them the structure of how the motion of a game succeed. We have the blockchain. The blockchain on the side is a guest in gaming, and we never treated things in terms of financial kind of way of thinking in a game. This is what brings the challenge. So the stability and scalability and sustainability of this is also relying on how we are providing the game, on which platform we are using it. That's why we are using the latest in technology, and we've been deployed with AWS itself, Amazon, that is backing us with their Activate program. And I'm going to discuss about these later. So in stable format, we are using the latest in tech we possibly can reach to keep the game upgradable in an easy fashion, and for a future term, that our contracts are just not relying on months, they are relying on years of partnership through our gaming structure for the development. The scalability size, it's a 2D game. Everyone loves 2D games. Everyone knows you don't need introduction for 2D games. Anyone that sees it knows at one point how to use it, how to see it. We've been growing. All our lives have been based since the 80s, 90s on 2D games that we all loved, and then scaled to become the 3D that we have. So that's why this game is very much scalable, because it doesn't need introduction. And the sustainability of the system is how we build the ecosystem on a rotation factor. That means it's not just relying on the blockchain itself. It has multiple income streams and multiple ways we are providing stability. And this is where I'm going to be talking about the off-chart and the in-chart revenue streams we have been building. BFK is not just the blockchain on itself. This is where the ideology of being a studio, being a game, mixes itself with the income stream that you can get from the blockchain and what it is providing at this time of point. So we have multiple massive layers on an extended side, other than the taxing we are providing that is static and into our marketplace, which is set at 4%, never changed. And we also have a seasonal type of taxing happening, because in games, there's a lot of season happening, like Christmas, like, for example, the 14, 15 days we're going to have, just sitting there and having the vacation. What are you going to, what type of quality, what type of offering we can preserve in this? That is why we have a dynamic taxing system relying on this, where sometimes we're going to just say, here you go, this is a zero tax kind of season. Let's celebrate Christmas, for example. This is where we are thinking of every little detail, providing attraction to our game, not just our, income stream, or not just about our blockchain side. So there's a game always, there's a season type of thing implemented into it. We have a merch store completely done from scratch, which Jaden have been working on for months, that has over 220 items related into it. We are using it as an income stream in the real life also. We're providing high quality merchandise for every user, or our entire user base. We have also implemented microtransaction that is happening through our app store, because it's a type of hybrid game. So it's a traditional game. We have thought even to bring the fiat side to the blockchain, not just the blockchain to the fiat like everyone does. So this is where our microtransactions are happening, and we are proud to say that even on the start, we got it now really working on Apple based on the request. I'm going to discuss this later. So we have also secondary tools and power-ups that we are relying on in our marketplace, that also gives the game a deeper layer on how gamers engage, how gamers progress into it. And also, not to mention the NFT sales that we have, which also are bringing an income stream. And we are relying on the OTC system, which is the off-the-chart taxation that we're trying to cash out without hitting our chart, based on partners we are working with. So that is multiple layers, and all of these are built on a system that has 6 main structure I'm going to be also mentioning right now. And as I have said, there's an effort-based ranking system. The entire ecosystem is sitting on the effort that gamers put, not just, the traders. The traders need their piece of cake, and they get it. They get it on the blockchain. We have never restricted anything on this side. Trading, auctioning, staking, all of these sorts of things are available there. But how can you make the system attractive? How can you be sure that the investor is going to ask this question? How are you providing earnings to everyone? If the earnings are too easy to get, why should I invest? That is why, on a term of game, on a term of blockchain, on a term of security, we have created a 4-layer ranking system that just tackles every bit of your NFTs, in case it's a weapon, in case it's a skin, in case it's a power-up, in case it's the 40s himself, and upon all of this, it is your profile, your commanding profile based on the military ranking we have done. Balancing these two in between the blockchain and the real world, we had to face the middle point. We believe in hybrid gaming at the first stage, initial stage, where you are discovering how you want to build the next infrastructure. We don't have directories. We don't have documentation. Everything we have done is from scratch. We didn't have anyone to rely on providing us the technology and saying, hey, here you go, just implement it. That is why, based on the calculation we have done, we needed some sort of a middle point where we can control the earnings, because it's not safe not to control the earnings at this point. This is where we're just having probably any mistake that we have on a static kind of thing, we're going to just say that, okay, that's done. We have lost everything in these terms. No. So this is where we do it. We introduce something called the central wallet smart contract, which deals between the blockchain and the game and controls the earning based on a dynamic ratio system. I will explain about it later. This is a completely patented, it's a proprietary IP we have created just for this, tested it at the start, and now it's handling our ecosystem perfectly. We have done also alongside with the effort ranking system, the advanced matchmaking system, which is now getting deployed at layers, allow our gamers to matchmake each other, find each other, and fight each other. And then it's going to be on the ranking system. That means based on your rank, then based on your rarity of the NFTs, and based on multiple layers, just to give it, a more complex kind of adventure for gamers. So we are using something called the referee parameterized searching mechanism. We are implementing slowly with our third-party provider, Photon Services. They are very known in the space, and they've been handling AAA games for a long time. We have an advanced auction system, not just any auction system. It's like an eBay type of auction system. We believe in the traditional space auction system has been working. We've brought it as is and put it there and even improve it just to work on the blockchain side. It has price match, reserve price, buy it now, priority. And we do have also like private deals that are happening also throughout this advanced auction system. We also have an AI system, which is the player versus environment PvE of the game. This is the story. Our AI fighting the 40s, which are the players basically. This is an event-only program. It's going to happen every month that we are building. And this is where we have applied some tech into our AI, how to face the soldiers, where 20 players around the world group into one slot and try to fight this AI based on the rate system that most of the gamers know. And they hold close to their hearts because it creates a lot of friendship. So we believe in this positivity and creative of group style gaming. At the same time, our 40s are layered on a military type of ranking system. This is what it creates multiple factors, in fighting in a team. Everybody needs everyone. And after all of this, we have created the economical algorithm that actually control the wallet that I spoke about and control the blockchain side and the gaming side, which tells when and how to drop the profits at what time, the vesting system incorporated into it, the study of the market cap and the study of the effort and the XP has been provided, making a systematic calculation based on earnings that we are always able to provide because we always lock them. So we have always our earning locked aside and the contract that we are trading with on a side. Everything is secured and we refill them based on availability. We do not drain ourselves just to provide earnings and just attract everyone by the earnings. No, we actually provide 100% guaranteed earnings based on a ratio that our algorithm calculates to always make sure that we have earnings, we have a vested earning system. At the same time, we are able not to put pressure on the chart. Now, discussing how high our security has been done, as I have said or mentioned it before, we have implemented the KYC AML system. AML, this is a tracking system that follows every wallet that connects to our ecosystem. And the KYC is know your customer. But we did not stop here. We also went through KYB, where we actually, as a business entirely, have been KYB'd by BlockPass, which is a very known security firm that is actually licensed, to deal with all the documentation we are providing and the privacy of our users. That we are providing automated KYC, bringing it from their system via API to ours and approving players that wants to earn. I'd like to mention that only our earning system is locked by KYC, not our blockchain side. We are still respecting the decentralization factor of the blockchain, keeping it transparent. We only locked our earning mechanism where anyone who wants to contribute to our game has to show himself. We don't believe in ghosts in an ecosystem where there is dealing in between ledgers, dealing in an economy. This is always should be transparent as we have used to it in the real life and the real world. Our white paper is a business plan on its own. And why I'm saying this is because Jaden went crazy enough on it just to scratch it and do it and draw it even on an artistic level of side, not just on how much technicality that is into it. And I'm proud to say that almost looking at our white paper, it's like an article on itself. So this is also provided and always available for all our users. Anyone who would like to see and learn more about our business plan, it is always on constant update every time we move into the months because we are here for the long term. And the minimum we have contracted with any firm we have worked with, we've been mentioning how we are looking to make this happen in our white paper, having the targets clear there and applying them. with our great team that I want to mention now. Our core team is formed by us three. My name is Eli again. I'm the CEO of the game. I'm the founder of the game. I have Jaden next to me on the creative side, and Jaden has 30 years of pure experience in film and TVs, and a huge amount of creative experience in agencies and client. He knows how to deal with it. He just took BFK to another level by just taking a look at these characters, falling in love with them, and just creating this beautiful story. Now we are moving on, mixing our ideas together, just to make the dream come true by having a game that is close to the heart for all the gamers, bringing it to life. I have also Matt Ford, also, that is our CMO, or Chief Marketing Officer. We almost met at the same time. As I have to remind you guys that Jaden and Matt are investors themselves in BFK. They believed in this project from start, and we discovered our experiences together when we are just working together and collaborating. And Matt has also around 30 years of experience in advertising and marketing. He has been dealing with international and local ad agencies and a lot of leading publishers. So we know that around the world and around our experiences, we have 80 years plus of experience, which really makes it a solid project in terms of who is controlling it, because most of the users, most of the investors also invest in a team, not just in the idea. Guys, the blockchain gaming side is massive. It's massive. It's booming. It's exploding after Axie Infinity's success. The market has been, throwing their eyes on gaming, what gaming is going to bring to the blockchain, how they're going to be doing it. And we've been thinking of all these details since the start. I'd like to mention that the traditional just gaming side is around 250 billion in market size. This is massive market size, and this is just talking about the facts that it is not just relying on how we are seeing it. It has been for history like this. This is not just for the case that we are comparing it now, but this is how it has been for a long time, and it's growing at an insane ratio. We are expecting in 2025 and 2027 to almost double this amount. This is how speedy it is in the growth, and this is where the blockchain is taking a small bite of it. It's around less than 1%, a 2 billion market on the blockchain gaming. This is how small we are now at this stage. This is the infancy even stage of the blockchain, and we have to provide the structure for it. It is our duty as gamers, our careers and experts, to provide the value. It's the internet of 2022 now happening. It's the gaming getting shaped on a new type of networking, on a new type of platforms, on a new type of investment and growth, and players have to think differently. So this is how small we are, and this is how scalable we can go, having at least a share of 50%, maybe 40% in 10 years of this market would be a huge success. I'd like now to let Jaden to discuss more about in-depth gaming around the blockchain and BFK and how we mix these things together. Jaden?
Thanks, B. So obviously looking at that screen, we can see the importance of targeting that traditional gaming, 250 billion, and we are in an infancy in our industry as far as blockchain games are concerned. So we know that to make this project a success, we have to target traditional gamers. We need to bring traditional gamers to the blockchain, not the other way around. And the reason why that hasn't happened until now is that developers have been far too insistent and far too focused on the blockchain rather than making a great game that's going to appeal to a sophisticated gaming audience. We know that. It's the feedback that we've been constantly getting. V had a chat with BitBoy the other day, and BitBoy said exactly the same thing. Ben Armstrong, the minute there is a decent game out there on the blockchain, people will come. But until that happens, it's not going to do it. So that was always our focus. And so that's how do we do that? We need to focus on the game first and make the blockchain the passenger in this regard. So by doing that, we need to make it readily available. It needs to be downloadable, and we are now obviously very proud to say that we are on all of the platforms that we go. We've got one more application in that we're waiting to go through, which is Hawaii, but but we are downloadable now on App Store and on Google Play, and these are massively important for us because it gets us out to the audience that we desire. And also the reason why it's a 2D game, we're about to see the importance of that. We're on desktop as well. We need to get it out to the masses. And so this is what we have focused on. We have created a game that, whilst we've built it in 3D, we have rendered it in 2D so that ease of access for people that are playing around the world is there. We know that for P2E games, a big part of our audience is going to be Southeast Asia, the continent, the subcontinent, South America. All of these places don't have access to the type of technology that is required to play a proper blockchain game in full 3D. We know that if we just target that, and if we were to start with a 3D game, pardon me, rather than a 2D game, we'd be alienating 90% plus of our potential audience. So we have built this the other way around. We want to build a simple game that is available to be played on smaller devices. And in our case, we've tested it on everything right down to an iPhone 6. So because we know that our potential audience is not going to have the latest and greatest technology. So rather than focus on trying to get that 3D thing, because we are a war game, people assume that our model is based around things like Fortnite, Call of Duty, but they're not. They're based on something much simpler than that. Does this look familiar? Angry Birds. A massive, massive game. It's had huge success, and it's been rolled out across multiple platforms. And as a brand, as a commodity that's been franchisable across different things, including movies, television, and merchandise. This is a brand that's done it right, and so we have modeled BFK on the back of this, on the back of Angry Birds. We've created something that's very simple, that's attractive, that is easy to play, that is able to play on the smaller technology, and we will then go into development. We don't make no mistake, BFK will be on the big screen. It will be a movie. BFK will be a full 3D game, but we can't start with that. We know that we can't start with that. We've got to bring our audience with us and build the audience. And how do we do that is to create, is to really focus and hone in on the game and talk about what's important with the game. And in that case, it is our soldiers, and it's the story behind the game. If we have a look here, our very first soldiers, that little drawing on the left is one that was done initially by V, because he had this kind of vision and this concept for this very stylized, unique, beautiful looking game. And obviously we've worked very hard on our design and style to get to the point where we're at today. And we've created, at the moment, we've got 15 odd characters. We've got plans for so many more. We're going to have hundreds of these little guys. And we know that to be able to get that engagement with true gamers, that we have to tell the story. It's so important. So as we create these characters and as we create more about the game, we create more backstories, and you get to know these characters a lot more. They're characters. They're not just objects in a game, and that's the most important thing. All the Angry Birds, they all have names, where they all have backstories. It's why they were able to turn it into a movie. We're going to be doing the same thing. You think of things that have been franchisable around the world, huge franchising and merchandising success, things like Star Wars, other gaming things, television, like, for kids especially. But these things have been character-based and story-based, and very, very important. So I'm going to play you a quick little video. You may have seen this. I saw that Han had posted it in your room. I apologize if there's a bit of a lag and the sound's not great. We will post it in the room afterwards, but it's to give you an idea of what we're focusing on in order to build that engagement in our game. And notice how I haven't talked about the token much. That's because it's the passenger. It's secondary to the game. If people come in and love our game, then that will reflect in success on the charts as well. But for us, we're focusing on this as a priority, because we know that this will bring in that $250 billion market that we're after, not the 0.8%. That is blockchain gaming at the moment. So we know that we're standing on the stage next to the big boys. We know that we're up against some massive gaming studios that have got hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to put into these things. We don't, but we think the quality of what we're pushing out can stand on its own. So I'm just going to play you a little clip. This is an introduction to one of our 40s. This is Armus, our snow sniper, and we're doing one of these for each character. We've got another one in production as we speak. And each one of these is going to talk about specific game features. And we're going to have a library of this kind of content, which then becomes marketing gold. But this is Armus. No, I do apologise. I believe that there was no sound again. We will drop that in the main room so you can have a look at it. But it's just to gauge a bit of an understanding of the kind of quality that we are putting out for an absolute fraction of what some of these big studios are doing. But we think we can pretty proudly put up our hand and stand on the same stage as these big guys. And as I say, we're continuing to roll this out, and we're very proud of the output that we're putting up for this. So I'll hand over to V now as he talks through some of the magic that sits behind the BFK with the marketplace and so forth.
Thanks, Jaden. So moving on to the marketplace after this beautiful animation. So the marketplace of BFK is the robust heart and soul of it. In terms of connection that we have built, to make this marketplace available, I want to just mention that the speed and accessibility of our marketplace defies all the top-end ones that are running now on the blockchain, like OpenSea and the other ones. We did not build the marketplace just to activate trades, on that. We did build a marketplace that actually convey players into the game and give them the central point where they can control the game, their assets, their blockchain, their security, their expandability, their upgrades, and everything that is coming in between our game. So I'd like to mention that our program partners, as of now, we have AWS Activate behind us, which is Amazon on itself. We also have our database provider, which is called MongoDB Atlas, also that we are through their programs. They have been supporting us for 6 months. We also got Zendesk behind us on the help center and the support section, which we're providing from our marketplace. Also get on our backs with 6 months support so far. And we have the RPC that we're using for connectivity speed and blockchain transaction from Anchor with the latest technology in multi-chain. So as you can see, the marketplace is divided by quite a simple format. We have 4 sections in relationship to the profile of the user on the top left side, where you can find all the information related to your accomplishment as a commander. The left side is the menu that drives you through the different parts of our offerings in our marketplace, the game itself on the blockchain. In the middle point, you can see very clearly that you have your dashboard, which is providing you all the necessary quick information in relationship to your owners and the game itself in terms of microtransaction availability, weapons and other NFTs and other than non-NFTs offerings. And we also do have our top section, which is the top menu bar, showing you quick information about your wallets, your cold wallet, your central wallet, how many NFTs you have, the number of players, and a complete setting and a support section with the KYC and the introduction of 2FA and our funding code with via email verification, because we are really relying a lot on how secure we are on this marketplace. Moving on here to a little bit on how you can take a look at your armory, which is your little soldiers, the forties that defend the fort. This is the first selection we have created in our legacy format, around 15 soldiers available. Some of them are not showing here yet. This is how you see them. They are very well categorized in a format where you can drive through all the information and just press on them. And I want you just to take a look on how complex and how defined and how detailed every kind of section we have provided. And we have provided also a lot of information in relationship to the blockchain side by showing the transaction on the sales history and all the transactions that are happening also on your central wallet to know exactly how to follow up on it. And also we have a complete stats of these soldiers, as you can see, their rarity, their category, their special ability. The complete implementation has been done on a detection base that you need. This is everything. You don't need to put any effort into this. Everything has been automated for you on the active sync we have provided. So I'd like also to say that our mobile version is our marketplace. We're going to be talking about the Infinity Knox after that, is accessible on mobile, on PC, but not necessarily as a normal version of mobile. Our marketplace has been built with Wallet Connect on a multi-browser callback. That means you can access it from Google Chrome directly and then calling MetaMask, approving the transaction from it, not opening it from the MetaMask app. That was on its own a huge milestone. And discussing now about the offerings that we have, I'd like to mention one of the most important structure in gaming is always provide the element of power for a user. What they're gonna be looking on improving themselves. What are you giving them in a system where they want to grind themselves up? How they're gonna access the power of this game? What is different about having a power up? For example, we have the Infinity Knox carded. They are called Infinity for a reason because their power is eternal. These are a representation of these NFTs based on the power acquired by our aliens, which is part of the story. And they give you exclusive powers and exclusive damage and buffs around your armory to improve your gameplay. We have created, because we honor our holders since the start, has been holding with us over 15 months so far. And we have to honor them. We have created the gold version of these NFTs that provides you eternal power. And then at the same time, the power is diverted to your armory and provides you a little bit of 1% excess of power around your soldiers. These are only airdropped, and we have almost 107 of them. We have different version also accessible for the new players, and also based on our trading mechanics, everyone has the offering to sell these and to trade them with an open market perspective, which the users and our community sets the price. We do not set the price after the first initial sell from the BFK originals. These are provided to the community. They do set the price, and it's based on the open trade average price that the community agrees on it. We have multiple sets of these, multiple power sets that are consumable. Some of them are eternal, but this is just to mix up how powerful our ecosystem is and how much we are providing layer stuff in our game. I'm not sure if Matt is still with us here, Jaden.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm going to hand off to Matt to describe a little bit about our play-to-earn format in terms of marketing and expansion. Matt?
Yeah, thanks, mate. So if there's any flight announcements in the background, just try and ignore those. I hope that you can hear me okay. So what I'd like to talk about a couple of different topics. So I'd like to talk about the importance of options for a player to be able to use the rewards that they generate within the game and within the ecosystem. We've talked about sustainability and scalability a lot. The market has seen other play-to-earn games falter because there was less of an opportunity for people to be able to take those rewards and genuinely reinvest them, which creates. I mean, if you've got nothing to do with them but sell them, then that's what a player is going to do, right? So it creates some sell pressure on the chart. So one of the really important things for us was to make sure that there were those opportunities for players. And so things like staking are extremely important. The ability to have a huge amount of stuff that you can buy to increase your engagement and enjoyment of the game. So as we've spoken about, the number of 40s, for instance, that we have now is sitting at about 15, but is going to expand to a significant number, up sort of up towards 100. Likewise, weapons, skins, other power-ups, those sorts of things, the things that you can do with or stuff that you can do with the rewards that you earn. So that keeps that money, if you like, within the ecosystem, and it reduces that sell pressure. From an investor's point of view, the staking component of what we do is very important. And having Jane, you just move to the next one. Next slide.
Sorry.
Thanks, mate. So that's all right. So the staking component of what we do is very important. It is a commonplace in projects that do not have gaming, but it's something that we have treated very seriously, and also something that we provide for in advance. So it's quite limited in the number of investors who are able to participate in it. It's not. We have a certain cap on the amount of BFK that we will take staked at any one time. The reason that we do that is because all of the rewards or the staking returns that are available for those investors are put aside at the point where they stake. So there can never be any danger or change to the return that is promised to them. And the returns that we're providing over that period of time are pretty significant, like all the way up to 100% for a 360-day stake. Jane, can you just move the next one? Sorry, Matt, I can't see what's coming up. Thanks. So, from a taxation point of view or a tokenomics point of view, at the moment we are in our infancy as far as the roadmap that we have, which is mapped out far in excess of the next 24 months. From a development and a marketing and revenue point of view, we are a taxable token at the moment, and we've launched on the BSC, as we've said, and we have a ETH launch coming up in the first half of next year. For the time being, we have equal buy and sell tax of 9% in and 9% out. But we certainly do have plans to expand where BFK is going to be able to be traded, including being traded on centralized exchanges. Now, once we do that, we know that centralized exchanges will not deal with taxation, and so the tax will be removed from all trades, DEXs and CEXs at that point. But it will be done at a time, and we'll launch at a time when it is right for us. And we know from a strategic point of view when that time is. We've put that in our plans. It's not to say that we're not talking to those organisations already. We absolutely are. And not just small exchanges either. We're talking to people like Binance. The discussion that we're having at the moment is focused much more on talking about how they are treating blockchain gaming and how they are going to be supporting blockchain gaming. And we're having an upcoming AMA with their global head of gaming, which we were scheduled to have that about a week and a half ago, and unfortunately, due to some personal reasons of his, we had to move it. But we're trying to get that locked in again between now and Christmas. But the fact that somebody who has got such an important role in such an important organisation in this space is talking with us and interested in what we are doing is certainly testament to to the fact that we are doing stuff differently, and we are getting the attention of these people. We've set ourselves, if it's not obvious already, like this is a business and this is a brand. Our aspirations for BFK are far in excess of building a successful game, and we believe that the brand has got the scope to expand into lots of different areas, and we've already touched on some of those, movies and merchandise and things like that, and they're not small things. And obviously, to be able to play in those kinds of spaces, you need to make sure that you are a serious business. You are not simply a blockchain project. So, we are set up as an organisation. We've headquartered ourselves in the UAE because of the desire of that region to establish itself as a centre for crypto and Web3. We have got patents, we have got copyrights, and we're running ourselves. We're running ourselves as a long-term serious venture. We've touched briefly also on the store. Now, this is another thing that it's an expectation of a traditional gaming audience that if you are an enthusiastic and engaged player within that game, that you'll be able to buy branded merchandise that lets you kind of speak to that fandom, if you like. And so there's also obvious sort of marketing benefits on the side for this, being able to have our brand out there and exposed. But the work and effort that's been put into this for a project that is so young as ours is another thing that just indicates we're in it for the long haul. The time taken to build the store, the time taken to source all of the products that are for sale in there is something that is only going to be done by a business that is looking ahead for years, not months. Now, I mentioned before that my history of kind of work experience in marketing is in digital, but not in crypto. And I think that is another thing that is a differentiating factor for BFK. We are going to be focusing on the game, and the token, whilst it's an extremely important part of our project, and I'll talk about how it fits into that ecosystem just in the last slide, but from a pure investor's point of view, if you like. But you'll notice that the majority of this AMA has been talking about the game, and that's the way that we are approaching the market, because that's where the $250 billion is, and we want to talk to those people and we want to get them to find out what the blockchain is and to find out what blockchain gaming is. We're not as interested from a gaming marketing perspective in talking to people who already play blockchain gaming, because they're less than 1% of the audience. So, the market at the moment, as we all know, is still just kind of ticking along sideways. And we're taking that opportunity to be able to get our brand out there in front of potential investors like yourselves. That's our job at the moment. It's to make sure that when people who understand crypto investment have got money to invest in the space, are ready to put that money back in the space, or to move it out of something that they feel is like, move it out of stables and things like that. But a lot of people have got their money locked up in at the moment, that we're on their shopping list. And, that's the phase that we are in at the moment until the market turns around a little bit. Once it does do that, we have got a marketing strategy planned out that includes a suite of digital marketing, a lot of social stuff, a lot of influencer stuff. And I'm not talking about call channels. I'm talking about the way games use influencers. So, watching people play on YouTube. Think of the kind of marketing activity that Call of Duty and Fortnite undertake. We know that Fortnite has become a very successful game just based on almost word of mouth, and that their marketing spend, whilst it has increased in recent years, if you have got a great product, as we do, you don't need to spend a truckload of money to get it out there. The last thing that I'd like to talk about is just the importance of BFK as a. Oh, sorry, mate, I skipped out partnerships. And once again, guys, I apologise. Usually, I have another screen going so I can see what the next slide is, but I'm watching it on my phone at the moment. So the time that we have been alive as a project, and the time that we've taken out to spend on development, we've also used that time to continue to foster really strong partnerships across a lot of different areas of our business. As I said, we're already talking to some major centralized exchanges. We've got discussions in play with nearly 100 venture capital companies. We've got partnerships already from some of the biggest technology organizations on the planet. And we're getting support from some of those organizations that have enabled us to scale to provide much better service for our gaming players and for our investors than a business of our infancy and size should be able to. And it's because when we talk to those organisations, they see the potential and they see the future of our business, and they want to be part of it. They want us to use their products, and so yeah, they do get behind us and support us. I'd just like to make one point that's very focused on token investors, and I do so because it's come up in a few of our AMAs, and it's when we talk about the game all the time during these discussions. How is the token important? And it's vital. I mean, it's so important. Obviously, it plays a significant role in the game and in the ecosystem. That goes without saying. But if you think back to the complexity of our revenue stream slide that V spoke about earlier in the presentation, there are a huge number of off-chain revenue where we will opportunities or things that we're doing, which where the business will be earning money in something other than BFK. And so we'll be earning fiat from the sale of NFTs through the App Store. We'll be earning fiat through the sale of product through the merchandise store. We'll be earning other currencies through our own kind of mining and staking efforts. Like there's a huge the number of different options for bringing in revenue to this business in something other than BFK is tremendous. Now we need to get that back in the chart, and the only way that we can get that back in the chart is by buying our own token. And so all of this revenue can get fed back into the BFK business by buying BFK ourselves. We need to buy it anyway, because we need it to be able to continue to fulfill rewards in the game. We need it to be able to continue to fulfill staking obligations and those sorts of things. So it becomes this circle where we earn money, have to buy our own BFK, which drives the price of the chart up, that attracts more users and generates more revenue off the chart, which means that once again, we have to buy more BFK to keep the ecosystem alive. And from an investor's point of view, that's gold, right? That's what you want. It's not buybacks in the traditional sense of the word. We're not trying to fight the market. We're not trying to artificially inflate the price. It's just the way our economic ecosystem works. But it is absolutely to the benefit of a token investor.
Yeah, we need to. I think we have gone through a lot of stuff today, and I think we also have a good understanding of the projects. Very interesting to see the whole ecosystem and how you're thinking about the years to come. And I see that you have created with Unity using the Binance Smart Chain integration, and you have been connecting multiple contracts to form this ecosystem. And you've done a CertiK audit, so that's always a very comforting and secure thing to do. So yeah, in terms of the roadmap ahead, or what do you want to say is the major achievements, or the recent major achievements done by your project now that you're alive for quite a while?
Hey, do you want to talk about Apple?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, just my mic didn't go through. Yeah, thanks for the question. In regards of the accomplishments we have done, the year 2022 was really a tough one in terms of how we progressed through BFK and to achieve this point where we're really happy to say that most of our initial structure and initial plan has been completed. So one of the biggest milestones we had is just to achieve, the Apple Store, which is always, the kind of blockage for many projects in terms of quality, in terms of specifically how do you want to deal with the policy of Apple and the approach through our games that are also including NFT based into it. So we've been going back and forth with Apple in relationship to our project, because it's a type of hybrid game. So the most important factor that we had is negotiating how we want to put BFK in terms of security, in terms of offerings, in terms of a hybrid active type of marketplace, because Apple does not always allow, outside of the App Store kind of purchases. So, and we really take pride into that. We got accepted by the facts that we have laid down a complete business plan for them, explaining each point by point, which roughly took me 7 days to keep on going and explaining how our system works, and allowing us, to have our own, our first NFT based in-app store purchasing mechanism in relationship to our game. So we also worked on connecting that internally with our marketplace. We did not build a marketplace that is relating to the engine of Unity itself, which we could have done easily. No, we chose to keep the blockchain side separate and keep the aspect of interconnectivity, if you want to call it. So we really take pride in how we dealt with creating this technology and building this marketplace that has been accepted by Apple in being a hybrid, middle point that is crucial for the game future, and being approved also in terms of the game rating that we got on mild violence, and getting accepted in the quality that we have provided, because they do not also accept any type of game in terms of quality. So we have checked a lot of points, and that negotiating point to get approved by Apple is really a mark that we are doing the right thing here. So I would call that Apple on top of the pyramid is one of the best accomplishments we had in this 20 year, other than the IPs and the patent on the algorithmic calculation we have got. That also got a lot of attention, and us winning an award in India for the first time in Game X 2022 as the best action game.
Fantastic. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
About the community, I hear from Han Solo, of course, that you can kind of call yourselves the war zone. How do you see the community, and in terms of the pub here, how can we collaborate or help you for developing the projects and also the community and lifecycle management of it?
Jaden, would you like to comment on this?
Yeah, sure. The community is obviously a massive part of what we're trying to do. Again, because we're focusing on so much on the game, in addition to the token, we understand that we are building different kinds of communities than what you'd normally see in a traditional crypto environment. So again, over the last 12 months, whilst we're busily developing the game, we've been building that community as well. And we've got a huge audience on social media. I think, Instagram, we've got 100,000 followers. Twitter, we've got, big numbers and so forth. And we're gradually building that up, getting ready for when we are ready to tell our story. And again, from a marketing perspective, we've treated this launch very much as a soft launch, so that we did that with all the bangs and bells and whistles today, because we knew we had to create a bed for the game and build it so that it was robust enough, so that when we did start our huge marketing, it was really going to hit my sound's bad, I'm just it's really going to hit mark. So we're focused very much on that, building a community, involved in every process of the way in terms of being able to test the game. We have open communication. We've had really AMA months and months and months, even when there's been, when we're portraying and there's been nothing happening in terms of chart activity and that sort of stuff. We've continued to have weekly AMAs to keep the community updated with absolutely everything that we've done. And again, if you have a look on our YouTube channel, we've got all of those videos saved there as well, so you can look back and see history and the types of numbers that we're getting that people are viewing. Well, some of these videos and AMAs that we've done, we've had thousands of views. Plus, we're looking forward to doing more opportunities with other influence and so forth. Things like what we've done recently with Gareth Solway, Ben Armstrong with BitBoy and so forth. And the upcoming AMA we've got with the Global Head of Gaming that Matt talked about. All very, very important to build our community and invite people in. So very, very good organic community. I would invite everybody here to join. It's a friendly bunch of people, very knowledgeable. They're happy to most questions. I'm not sure if my sound, I'm getting a couple of messages to say that my sound is bad for some reason.
Oh, your sound is terrible.
It's bad?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll stop talking.
I can take it over, Jaden, from here.
Yeah.
Okay, so as Jaden was saying, and just in a small clear point that we have multiple kind of ways we are dealing with the community. Our Discord is the hub for gamers. We have a complex kind of channels happening there, so you can community members can also contribute in the gaming suggestions. We also have created the suggestion panel into our Zendesk where community members are sharing their thoughts. Also into our groups, we have 3 different groups, and specifically for each region, we have multiple ones. And our gamers even have their own group where they can collaborate. And we are on the verge to create tournaments coming in later. So this is where we are looking, for the most collaborative part in between your groups and other groups, and everyone that is interested in BFK in terms of gaming side too.
Fantastic. Yeah. So to sum it up, BFK Warzone operates as an ecosystem then that employs more than one smart contract, and you have NFT marketplace, you have a token, you have a game, and you also have the surroundings in terms of online shopping and stuff to come, bringing in fiats and doing buybacks on the chart. That's nice. So I see on the chart now that you're right under 1 million market cap. What kind of marketing will you be doing now the December run and hopefully when the bull starts in over the next year in January and February?
Yeah, sure. So we are sitting now at eventually we are facing all over a tough market, but we're not that, kind of indulged into what the market is doing as much as the concentration of the plan, like you're saying. As Matt said and Jaden were mentioning, that we have a lot of eyes on us, specifically on the VC side, and how we're going to be growing our business, in 2023, taking BFK to the next level in terms of development, completing the 2D version. While we are looking at, in terms of reaching the market, we have an audience target that we are looking towards between 18 and 45 years old in terms of the middle point of how we are looking through the audiences. We are really interested in the Asian side of market in the gaming, in terms of gaming space, as much as the Indian side, because it's a growing factor. We have a major presence also in India based on our partnership. I've been flying there. So we have our internal type of organic marketing happening as we go in many events like GameX 2022 and other ones that we are developing throughout the Indian marketplace, also establishing our own company, in the relationship to BFK Warzone, sister company there. So this is the process that we started, and we have almost more than 400 players available there in India. That has been our focus group. So we are still getting the license there. This is kind of organic, down to earth kind of marketing. We are tackling already, and we want to expand on the next level, starting off end of January. We have also our strategic mix of digital marketing partnership that we have been building, like CLS has been through our. It's a very well established advertising marketing, also much market making company in Dubai. So in terms of Dubai, we have multiple already relationship because I am there. I am actively there working on personal level of marketing by classic shaking hands type of style. So we've been through all the expos we could have tackled, in UAE, which is the center hub now. So we are present also in Dubai in multiple expos personally. And we also had our own booth last event in GITEX. And also we've been pitching. I've pitched multiple times in multiple events on the organic side, presenting BFK, to the world personally as myself. We also have the Hispanic type of market we are tackling, which is South America. We've been working with multiple firms that marketing agencies in South America that already have displayed and they have released multiple articles for us. So we are looking on the kind of crypto-centric activities, reaching AMAs, influencers in multiple marketing languages. We are also booming up our social media as much as we can. We're going to be relying also on ad stream that we're going to be having our own ads. And we also have our own PR that are in the Middle East, that I'm using. I have been 8 years in this domain, so we have easy access to Facebook gaming, first of all, Discord on itself, Twitch later on. So we are everywhere. That's why we restream all our channels when we go on a live AMA. We are available everywhere automatically because we do have the experience for this. So this is just like a small kind of plan we have. When we get the injection we need from the VCs, we're going to be progressing at all the layers together organically, virtually, and on the side of YouTube, which we really mainly gonna kind of concentrate on with our App Store optimization and SEO.
Great.
I can shoot in. We just to tell the guys in Norwegian what the plan is.
I did not get you what you said. The Norwegian plan you said.
Yeah, no, I think they are crypto people. So what the manager was asking is if you are gonna push a lot of marketing now in the Christmas rally. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be when the VCs are coming in January. Then the push-up is going.
This is what I said. Yeah, this is the cycle is going to start in Q1 2023. We know this. We have been talking to a lot of VCs, and they have been informing us on how this is going to work. The money is there. The trust is coming in next year, hopefully.
Yeah. Hans Olo here, of course, he's old dog in the space, so he also tells us the cycles and how it goes, and posts a lot of articles, so it's quite good at that. Thank you so much for coming. I would say that you do have a thorough plan. You have everything thought over in terms of both the strategies, the game itself, the surroundings, and how you will make passive income for both investors and the project when the trend is kind of slow. So very nice to both hear and look at. So the guys listening in now, you should definitely follow this project and these guys. Take a trip to their community and your own research, of course. Do some of you have any questions now before we close it off with the duck race?
I don't expect Han to ask any question.
No, that would be a surprise.
I don't think it's going to be any questions, because you have already answered everything people almost want to ask about. So
yeah, it was a very.
The manager is all set to do a duck race.
Yeah, it was a very thorough presentation, and of course it's recorded, so I will share it with the project guys here, and I will share it in the pub, also in my little call channel for outsiders of Scandinavia. So there also might be people jumping in to the BFK community. So thanks again, guys, for showing up here at the pub. Most welcome, and Hans Olo knows you guys. I think he posted the first time on the 8th of January this year about you. So we have over 100 posts about you already.
Yeah. Well, Han is a big supporter of the project. This is just escalated more than being an investor. He's a friend. He's a close, supportive advisor also. He has been through all the stages of BFK. I mean, I would really rely on every word that Han said throughout his experience also in the crypto market. He has helped us tremendously. Not also to mention that you guys have been welcoming us very warmly. This is one of the most kind of close AMA we had in terms of kind of a friendly approach we are feeling with you guys. I would like also to shout out for the Norwegian investors and influencers and contributors in this space. You guys are doing a difference. I am sure of it, and I'm happy to discover every one of you.
Yeah, I really like that you don't mention the Swedish and the Danish ones.
To be honest, to myself, I'm talking about. I think that in terms of Norwegian, this is what I mean. That I'm not sure how much of you guys in culture, are different. But what I mean is the section that you guys are part of this word. This is probably, to me, I see it as it's more in the concentration details, based what you're saying. So shout out to everyone who's listening to us in all different parts of Europe.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I will stop the recording now, and we'll go ahead with a duck race.
Jaden, are you still